well, now the lawyer, he's trying to sue that lawyer because that 13-year-old came forward, but she bowed out because she said she was getting threatened by Jay-Z and his people, but she also said she's just done. She couldn't do it. She didn't want to do it now, but she says that she was threatened, and he's just, anybody that says anything, he'll try to intimidate them or do something, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of intimidation and bribery and stuff going on. I think that was what the judge, why he's threatened to have him not even be there in the courtroom for the hearings.
Well, Jay-Z's that way too. And Jay-Z's like, you try to sue a lawyer. How do you try to sue a lawyer for doing his job? He's like, well, he said that Busby caused him a lot of, to lose a lot of money because that 13-year-old in that case that he pressed charges against him with. But, and then, you know, the lawyer's like, you know, that's what I do. You know,
yeah.
After me. You know, that's what lawyers do. We press charges. And he can't sit here and say that. He said she still says it happened. She just dropped it. And basically, she said it was because of him that some people showed up at her house and threatened her. But he said, you know, let him go. Let him do it. He's not going to get anywhere with it.
Well,
no.
I mean, you know, suing somebody is I mean, you can sue somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's.
But a lawyer,
well, yeah, I mean, you can.
Work.
That's actually like one of the few real constitutional laws that you have. You have a right to sue and be sued. You know.
That's what the lawyer said. What Tony Busby said. He said you could sue anybody for anything. Let him go ahead. Yeah. He said, you know, but
depending on the case you have, it's anybody's guess is if it's actually going to go anywhere.
Right.
You know, there's that
too. You know, for anything, but that is what's going to happen. You know, they have to come look. But
now, stupidity would be trying to sue the judge. Yeah. Okay. Because if he tried to sue the judge, then he'd have to freaking have permission from the state and the government. And,
right.
You know what I mean? That's stupid.
But people try to do stuff that's stupid.
You know.
Right.
But
right.
I mean, if he's wanting to waste that kind of money, let him waste that money, man. That's what they do. You know, they're stupid people.
I can't believe what's going on now. It's really a lot of stuff, weird things going on. Like, you know, yeah, like whatever happened to Gene Hackman and all that stuff. Remember them being found dead and all that? That was kind of
weird. That was odd too.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that in the last one we had, didn't you?
Yeah. I guess what the last I read about it is the kids were getting all the money, and it's the woman his wife had an antivirus, and so she got sick and died, and he had Alzheimer's, and he just didn't know what was going on, and so he ended up dying too.
Yeah.
A few days later, but I don't know. Yeah.
So what's the next name on your creepy list of Hollywood cult members?
Oh, no.
Austin.
There's
all the next thing to talk about.
Yeah. I think we've pretty much.
We could talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we covered a lot of that. Well, we could talk about Chris Cornell and Anthony Bourdain and Chester Bennington.
Oh,
that was a big one. Because supposedly, you know how Chris Cornell supposedly hung himself, and then Chester Bennington was supposedly so depressed about it because he was real big friends with Chris Cornell that he hung himself like a couple weeks or maybe a couple months later. And then supposedly Anthony Bourdain was real good friends with both of them, and he had issues with depression for years anyway. And so it wasn't too long after both of them that he supposedly committed suicide. But a lot of people have been saying that these three were working on a documentary called The Lost Children that was about all the sex trafficking going on in Hollywood with Epstein and Weinstein, and it may have even involved the Diddy thing, because I think Diddy, Weinstein, and Epstein were all one. I think it's all the same story. But they were supposedly doing this documentary about it, and that was why they were. Some people say the three of them were actually murdered.
Yeah, they try to say that Anthony Bourdain was like, it was his girlfriend. He had a younger girlfriend, and that she wanted an open relationship, and I guess they had one, but supposedly he saw her making out with some guy or something that was younger than him, and they said he just spiraled out of control. But a lot of people say no, he kind of, it might have upset him, but he knew that she was dating other people. That wasn't it. They said there was more to it. You know, I mean, he liked his job and everything.
Well, as much as you look at, when you look at all these celebrity deaths and stuff, and how suspicious so many of them are,
yeah,
it's not too big of a stretch to say that Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell and Anthony Bourdain dying the way they did were so close. I mean, look at all of Hillary Clinton's friends that committed suicide, quote unquote, or.
oh yeah,
That's a common thing. She had 58 friends or affiliates that supposedly committed suicide. So I mean, it's not so far out there to say, especially if Chris Cornell and Anthony Bourdain and Chester Bennington were actually working on this documentary.
Yeah.
It was supposedly called The Lost Children.
yeah. I don't know. That is strange. Yeah.
I haven't filled myself too much in on the whole Cornell thing. I've been hearing a little bit about it. It kind of reminds me of a lot of MK Ultra shit, to be honest with you. Like
Yeah.
That's really what it does. It was and a lot of this stuff that's going on right now reminds me of it, because and for me, like I said, it's really, really hard to freaking tell if it's if it's real or if it's just people who are like mentally freaking ill, because like I've been hearing people talk about how they've been a part of freaking like satanic cults where they've sacrificed freaking humans and shit like that, or they've been a part of families that have sacrificed humans, and I'm like,
Right.
I mean, you hear this stuff and you're like, well, why isn't this stuff up on national television? You know what I mean? If you've survived
that's
that kind
another
of stuff, if you
that's another thing about our media, that so much of the things they tell us are just a distraction. You have to ask yourself, well, from what?
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to see some of the things they're trying to distract us from.
Well, if a story's so out there, people don't believe it. It's like that. Like I was saying that with that one guy with Diddy, nobody believed him. Everybody's laughing about that. They were like, "Oh, sure, that sounds silly." But then now they're starting to, because I guess there's some special rooms or something under the mansion or something. But yeah, I mean, the more out there, sometimes the less like you are to believe it. But a lot of that stuff is true.
Yeah,
and that's what.
We're hearing so much of it, and it's always the same stories, like how like the Paul McCartney dying and being replaced with a body double thing, and the body doubles and the security details of so many major world leaders, and then
And now they're going on about, aren't they? Didn't they say something about Prince? His death was. They thought it was weird. There was a song about an elevator, and
actually, he had the "Don't let the D elevator drag us down."
That was the guy you were talking about earlier. He said that.
Or they predict their own deaths in songs. And see, that was another thing Chris Cornell did. And you sent me a video of his last concert. Mm-hmm. And the last song he played was a song about meeting Jesus in the sky.
Yeah, and so what did Prince say? He said, don't, he said it at his concert too. He said, don't do something. And then he said something about the elevator.
Yeah, he said something about, he told his audience not to waste their prayers on him because it wouldn't probably do any good because things weren't looking that good for him.
But then he sang something about the elevator. He was found dead in the elevator.
And he sang the last song he sang, I think, at his last concert. I think the last song he ever performed was the song about the D elevator. Don't let the D elevator drag us down, which actually the weird thing is, in an interview years ago, he said that song was about, people asked him, what are you talking about the D elevator? Who or what is that? And he said, the D elevator is Satan.
Now, see, that's what I'm saying. It all gets intertwined with one another. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, Satan comes into it, and it's like this satanic cult of freaking child molesters that are out to freaking rape your children and murder your freaking wife and eat them for freaking dinner and shit.
The cults of Hollywood.
Yeah.
It literally ties into the title of this whole episode. I mean, you perfectly stated that.
And I mean, like, do you remember what was the name of that one, the Black Dahlia? It came out back in the 90s, I think it was.
Was she? But she was trying to get into Hollywood, right? And then she
was trying to get famous.
Yeah, and she was sleeping with him, and then somebody thought they heard her, like he killed her. Somebody killed her that she was sleeping with, I guess. But yeah, the Black Dahlia.
Kind of like, she got murdered by somebody she was sleeping with or something, trying to get famous, and she got famous, but not for what she expected to get famous for.
What was that guy? Remember from Hogan's Heroes? Real kind of a pretty good looking guy. You probably remember him, Roger. I know you do, Austin, if I could think of his name.
Hogan the guy who played as Hogan?
Hogan, yeah. He was found, remember, he was killed. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And he kind of into some sexual stuff, like I guess he was videotaping a lot of, and I don't know how weird it was, but...